Hi everyone, it's Leslie Pope, creative designer at the Beadsmith, waiting to show everyone my Daring Dagger earrings, because I love daggers and I love SuperDuos. And I love Cymbal metal fashion elements. And these, of course, turned out just to be like a happenstance. Isn't that how that happens sometimes? It's always so funny. But yet again, I think I'm going to call this another stash buster project because, as usual, you don't need a lot of beads to make them. And as my promo said, I dare you to make just one pair because they're so fast and fun. And everyone always has, bead stash. So this is a great way to do a bead stash. So, hi Janet. I'm so glad you like watching me. So let's see if I can pick this up and get a little closer to the camera. There we go. So, as you see, little bit of SuperDuos, a dagger, and some seed beads. And I played around with color and with the daggers. I got some backlit. Oh, hi from Scotland. Backlit dagger and an etched dagger, and of course the laser tattoo daggers, which are fun. Fun. So I had a lot of fun picking out the colorways. And as always, if you go to thebeadsmith.com/I love beads, you will find the tutorial. And it is literally 2 pages and a diagram. And you could look at the diagrams and make the earrings. And as a special request to a lot of our beady friends, we are now including the exact list of all the supplies, the colors and everything that we are using to make our pieces. So you speak to us, we hear you, and if we can fulfill a request, we try. So there you go. Wow. Hi, Laura. So, as I said, it doesn't take much to make a pair of earrings. I have my 15s, my SuperDuos, my daggers, and these are actually 1-hole daggers, the 5x16mm daggers. I am using the Rios 5 SuperDuo bead ending, and it's called the 5 because it's got 5 little legs on it. And then you have your loop, so you don't even need a jump ring. You can just attach your ear wire to the top loop of the roses, and you have an earring. And as always, Fireline. I'm using 6-pound Fireline, size 11 needle. I have my trusty micro grip pliers just in case I need to pull a needle through something tightly. You don't really need it to attach your ear wire. And my thread snips, just for cutting the Fireline. So if everybody's ready, let's get started. Okay, first off, yes, I forgot my thing. Always make sure that all of your 2-hole beads, both of the holes are open. I tested all these guys before I started, and I've also found out you also need to do that for your cymbal findings. I was working on another project, and I got around the other side, and my 2-hole substitute did not have a hole in the other side. So watch those holes, people. And the other thing that I discovered, especially with a piece that has more than 2 legs, it's kind of hard to line up all your beads at the same time to get them in, because you really have to sew straight across. So I have a little trick and tip to show you. Get a second needle. Take the beads that you need, the amount of beads that you need to put in between your legs, which is 4. And you can line them up right in the middle between the legs. And so the second needle holds your beads in place, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. All right, so let's get started. So I start with a 15. Okay, I just threw that one on the floor. And a SuperDuo. And you're going to sew through your end and all your SuperDuos, and my needle will keep everything straight so I can sew right through, oops, come on. Sew right through everything and not have your beads. Take my second needle off, and voila! In one pass, I was able to get all of the beads on that I needed to get on in between the legs and not have a fight. So we're going to pick up one more SuperDuo and a 15 and slide everything down. And then I'm going to turn this over just because it'll make it easier for me to show you what to do. And you're going to sew back through everything, not your 15, but you're going to sew back through all the SuperDuos, all the legs of your ending, everything on here is going to have 2 thread passes, because it helps lock things in, and it also gives you your turnaround. Okay, so we have everything in, and you are going to sew through your end 15, but not your stop bead, because that'll lock it in. And as Leslie Rogowski and I call them, we call them rivets, because they're just there to lock in and do your turnaround. Then you're going to just sew back through your SuperDuo, your end SuperDuo. And then out through the second hole of the same SuperDuo, so you can do your turnaround. So we just did row 1, and things are going to decrease from here on out. So your only thing you're going to add on the outside are your 15s. You're not going to add any SuperDuos on the outside. So we're going to pick up a 15 and sew through that SuperDuo. Put your little turnaround rivet on the side, and then we're just going to add a SuperDuo between each of the SuperDuos. Yes, these are not the mini duos. These are the SuperDuos, the DU05s. I guess that's considered the original size SuperDuos. And we got one more, and then we're going to be on the other end, and we're going to pick up our last SuperDuo. And that's going to be row 2. Then you're going to pick up your 15, your little rivet, and you're going to sew back through all of the SuperDuos. And sometimes you can't get through all of them at one time. That's no big deal. Sometimes they go through nicely, and sometimes they don't. You know how that is. But it doesn't matter as long as you get through the other side and make sure you don't skip any beads. And then, come on, baby. There we go. And when you get to your turnaround, you're always going to sew through the 15. So one side you don't sew through the 15, the other side you do sew through the 15. Boy, I'm really shadowed here. Sorry guys, I just realized that. Is that better? That's better. And this time you're going to have to sew back through 2 SuperDuos because, like I said, we're decreasing as we're going along, and then we're going to sew through the open hole. And we're going to repeat your 15, your little rivet there, and then we're going to sew a SuperDuo through every SuperDuo in the previous row. And it gets faster because you're going to be adding fewer and fewer SuperDuos as you go across the row. And one more SuperDuo. And now we're at the end of that row. And we're going to pick up a 15 and sew back through all of the SuperDuos. The ones you just added and the previous row. I'd say this is a 10 to 15 minute earring to make. And we're going to sew through our little rivet, right? And back through 2 of the SuperDuos to make your turnaround. To start your next row, here we go. 15. Oops. There we go, 15. And your SuperDuos. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And you're already at the end of the row. Ta-da! Lock your row in with your 15. Sew back through all of the SuperDuos. And you're in 15. And the 15. Did I sew through the 15? No, I did not. Okay. Because you don't want all your beads to come out. And one more time. Back through 2 of your SuperDuos. There we go. And out through the open hole. And so this is your second to the last row. So you got your 15. And we're going to only need to pick up 2 SuperDuos this time. 1 and 2. There we go. Lock in your row with your 15. Sew back through all of your SuperDuos. Come on. There we go. And you're in 15. There we go. And see how, you see why we call these rivets? You see how nicely the little the 15 sit on the side of the beads there. And we're going to sew back through 2 SuperDuos and pick up a 15 and sew back through that SuperDuo. And then we're going to add our dagger. And lock this guy in. So you sew through the SuperDuo. Here we go. And voila. See how fast that was? And I would just like run back through, follow this thread path at least one more time, just because the dagger is hanging out there on its own. And then you can run your thread through to secure it. And you should always follow your existing thread paths and tie it off anywhere you like. You don't have to go crazy with, like with your knots or anything, because it's not a very big, piece of jewelry. But you don't want your threads to work loose. And then you would take off your stop bead and rethread your tail and do the same thing. Run that through some beads here and there, a couple of knots, trim it off, and then you would just add your ear wire. So these guys are pretty soft, so I just open it up with my hand and slide it on. Come on, baby. There we go. And then you can just push it shut. And there you go. Your Daring Dagger earring. I dare you to make just one pair. I made the 4 colors that I did in like an hour and a half one day, just playing around with color and my little and my little samples. So they're always so much fun. Here, get a little closer. Can I get a little? There we go. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Daring Dagger earrings, SuperDuos, daggers, Cymbal fashion ending, and earring, instant earring. So I hope everybody enjoyed my quick little demo today. You can find the pattern at thebeadsmith.com/I love beads. It will probably be under cymbals, SuperDuos, daggers, and seed beads. So you can find them anywhere on that page. And you can find all the beads and findings and tools that I barely used today at your favorite bead reseller. And remember, we love you. We love beads. And we will see you in a couple of weeks with a new project. Until then, take care and be safe. Bye.